Hello and welcome to We'd Rather Be Reading. I'm Jerrica.
And I'm Lia.
And this week, you had your birthday, we had Midsummer.
Oh yes, my birthday.
Yes.
I got books.
Yay!
Yes, and the funny part is I got books written by hot authors.
I love that.
Dave actually made a point of looking up the authors to make sure that they were all hot. So I would not have to struggle with the ugly author.
The visualization of the section scenes.
Exactly. And they're all apparently very sexy, these books.
Ooh.
Yeah, so we'll see. And
what a good husband that was.
He was very good this time.
Yeah.
Do you
know,
good.
He also messaged me to ask if there was anything a little extra that he could get you. And I was like, okay, let's go over the essentials. Books,
he was
spa, wine, concert, and he's like, I already got all of those things.
Yeah,
and I was like, you did great.
That's what he was saying. He's like, I wrote to Jerrica. She was like, I already got those. Like, duh. I'm like, all right, it's not my fault.
No, you did great.
But no, he did really great. I posted 3 of them on our Instagram account if you want to see, and then he got me a couple of ebooks as well, actually, and he got me the V.E. Schwab trilogy.
No.
Yes. Yes.
Which one?
The Shades of Magic. Yeah, so I have all 3, and then he got me This Is How You Lose the Time War.
Ooh.
By Amal El Mohtar and Max Gladstone. So I have so much reading to do, so much.
Yay, summertime.
So this is my summer sorted. You guys will find me reading books. This is where I'll be, and yeah, we're good.
Sounds like the best summer ever.
I also got Luster, Milk-Fed, and In the Quick.
Ooh.
And Milk-Fed is...
I want to know what that is. What a weird title.
Oh my god, and it's apparently very, very sexy, and it's like this Jewish woman, and it's 2 women, and she breastfeeds her, I believe. It's weird and sexy.
I need to know about this book.
Yeah, so it's going to be very, very exciting. I am excited to start reading it. 3 of them are in book form, so clearly he does not know me very well, because I do prefer to read on my phone. But this summer I think it's going to be nice, like sitting outside in the sun kind of thing and do my reading. But, I haven't started them yet because I've been busy with other books this week. What did you start reading?
I actually started reading Neon Gods by Katee Robert.
Mm-hmm.
I was so excited. Sometimes I look at Goodreads and see like what's popular this week or what people are reading and fantasy. And I like to like have a little check on what's in the now. Yeah. And this book, Neon Gods, was in the now. And I thought, Katee Robert, she's the one that wrote that book about the throuple that I love so much. The king and the queen consort and the prince consort that I tried to explain to you so many times, and you're like, ugh. Yeah. So I already know I like her as an author, and this book is about Hades and Persephone, and how much do we actually love Hades and Persephone books, all thanks to Scarlett St. Clair.
Yeah, I'm not too into Hades and Persephone.
No, you do. You were like hating on it and then loving it.
I know, but I don't like all the Greek gods books. Like I can get into it, but I don't know, like, because I tried. We've been reading Hunted by Meagan Spooner.
Yeah.
And then when I finished that book, I was like reading the reviews, and there was one review that said that this was not the best Beauty and the Beast because the best Beauty and the Beast was Cruel Beauty. Mm-hmm. So then I was kind of in the mood to continue on the Beauty and the Beast theme. So I did read Cruel Beauty.
You read the whole book?
And I have to say, it's not a fucking Beauty and the Beast. Like,
no.
At all.
No.
It's got Greek gods, and it's got demons, and it's got basically someone who has to break a spell. And I guess technically she does it with love, but it's not... He's not a beast, first off.
Is he just an ass?
He's just beautiful.
He's beautiful.
Not even like... I mean, he's kind of like the bargainer in a way, like that kind of demon. But he's not a beast. It's just, it's very complex. And I mean, it wasn't bad.
No.
It just wasn't Beauty and the Beast. But I was like fully expecting, I will learn to love him regardless of his flaws, and then this will break the curse. And I mean, technically, I guess if you're going to go down to semantics, yes, this is kind of what happens, but not really. Because, I mean, she falls in love with him like way fast.
Oh.
And then they're just together, and it was not what I was expecting. Not to say that it wasn't good, but it wasn't what I was expecting. And then I've also been reading Grasshopper Jungle by Andrew Smith.
Okay.
And oh my god, this book is It is, I can't, there's no words. It's like literally one of the reviews is like, what the fuck was that and why did I like it? I feel like this, I'm halfway through and there's massive giant bugs eating people. It's all from the mind of a 60-year-old boy who's really horny and very sexually confused.
Okay.
And experiments and like old dead people that have built bunkers, and it is all over the place, and it's all like in journal form from like this guy who's very sexually, this boy who's Polish, and it talks a lot about his great grandfather who came from Poland. It's so strange but so good at the same time, and I just cannot I read this and I like. And I mean, Jeff hates it at this point because I'm like, this is so funny. And I read him and he's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, this out of context is not funny at all. And you should stop reading me stuff from this book. But I can't.
Stop reading me stuff.
Yeah. So this, and then just today, because I was wanted something very quick, I started Heatwave by Victor Gestin. Mm-hmm. And it's only like 2.5 hours long, and I have like 7 minutes left,
cool.
Which takes place in like a campground in France, and someone dies, and it also follows like the 17-year-old boy for like who's very also sexually confused, I guess, for like 24 hours.
I would love some tips on some really good short books.
Yes, but have you read Kim Ji-jong, born 1982 yet? You're gonna have to.
I haven't.
It's like 6 hours long max. It's not even that. 4 hours, I think. 4.5 hours. That book is fantastic.
Short is for sure 4 hours and under.
And it's Kim Ji-jong, born 1984, and that's the title, like the full title. And it's about this woman growing up in Korea, and it's all about, like, you will be so angry with this book because it's all about the inequality between men and women and how it's like systematic, and you're like, but this is so unfair. Like we listened to it, Jeff and I, actually together on the drive to the West Coast once, and I had to pause it like a lot. I'm like, this is not okay, and how come? And I was very worked up. It took the whole drive, which is way more than 4 hours because I had to rant so much during the drive.
But that's good that it's like something that brings up conversation.
I brought a lot of conversation. I talked a lot. And I recommend it to everyone always because it's very good. And it's also been made into movies, which I haven't seen, but I would be very interested in watching that movie. So apart from this Neon Gods.
Yeah.
What else are you reading?
Oh, yeah. Well, today I got bitched at by my husband for reading yesterday, but it was a gorgeous evening. The sun was setting and it was 27 degrees.
Yes.
And I was like, you know what I want to do right now? Not talk to you.
Yeah.
No, I was like so into Neon Gods. So I really wanted to get into why Persephone is staying with Hades and what's Hades' secrets. And of course, like I was just into it. So today he bitched at me and said, you read all night last night and you never talked to me. And I was like, oh, you're so obsessed with me. Give me a break sometimes.
But I get that too. Sometimes I get it. I get that too. Like, you just read all the time. Like, you ignored me for a whole... I'm like, you were watching bad TV. Like, what was I supposed to do? Sit there and watch TV? I'm not going to do that.
I mean, it's like he does so many other things. And I'm not going to, like, lasso him to come and sit next to me and talk about...
But I mean, I sit next to him. I just don't watch his TV show. I just listen to him and ignore him. And I'm just like, read. I mean...
So I was in book jail for my husband. So I was not able to read too much over the weekend and today. But on my way here, I was like, I'm alone. Let me listen to a book that I can listen to inscribed. I'm still in book jail. Like, rude.
That is unacceptable.
It is so unacceptable. The rudest. So I found this audiobook called Sugar Daddies, literally. It's called Sugar Daddies. Okay, but listen to what it's actually about. So, Sugar Daddies is a website, and there's this male couple. I can only assume they're a couple because they come together. Mm-hmm. And they're on the website looking for a female partner. And they're like both really successful, super mega rich. And then this girl from like small town Iowa or whatever, wherever she's from. She's in school for business engineering or something like that. And she's in her last year and she's in so much school debt. So she was like, well, I have never been with two guys. Maybe I could swing this. And I'm not some pro porn star or anything like that, but I'm also not a virgin. So let's hang out and see if it works out. And they're like, a normal one. So we will see what happens next. But I'm not putting it down yet. But I know that it's not going to be like top quality reading.
Fair enough.
But it might be some good smut in there. And actually kind of a funny story.
But there's lots of good books in Storytel. I find, and they don't have that in Booktale.
That's true.
It's just a little bit more hard to find because they keep giving me freaking books in Swedish, which is annoying.
I know.
But what you should do, if you find a book in there that you like, you would just go down the rabbit hole of recommendations at the bottom of the page, and this will lead you to so much good stuff.
Okay, that's good to know. That's
how I found a lot of good stuff in there, actually. But we've read Hunted by Meagan Spooner. And
we listened to it.
Yeah. And last week we'd read about an hour or so, three chapters in, which was about an hour and a half. And we made some predictions about it being a Beauty and the Beast story, which was a given. And then we finished it. And from what I understand, you don't like this book.
No. Oh my gosh. I have so much to rant about. First of all, about like 3/4 of the way through, I was like, I should have just effing guessed that they all goddamn die because that's what I want to happen right now. Okay, so like super summary, Beauty and the Beast. Yeva, she's the beauty, and the Beast is called the Beast. But at the end of it, we find out that his name is Eovan.
Yeah.
But she calls him Beast and he calls her Beauty. So it's pretty like black and white there.
Yeah, but Eovan is basically, he lived a very long time ago and he was cursed.
Exactly.
And he has to be the Beast. And he was cursed because he tried to hunt the Firebird.
Yeah.
And he caught it and he got the feather. And then to break his curse, he needs to hunt the Firebird again. But he will never go to him because he will always be north of him. Regardless of how much he moves, he will always be north of him. So he needs a hunter to capture the Firebird and bring it to him so he can have the Firebird. Mm-hmm. This is basically the story. And
then side story is that she has a bunch of family members, a dad and 2 sisters, and the dad passes away from like natural causes from what I can assume.
Yeah, I mean, he goes crazy in the woods basically trying to find the Beast, and he's just not prepared for the weather, and he succumbs to the... Yeah, that's basically what.
And then they live in like old-timey society where you get sort of mated with somebody that lifts up your societal. I guess it's like regular status? Kind of back in the days. You need to be of a certain standard to marry with someone else, and if you marry above your station, you will be raised up to that station. I mean, it's the barons and the baroness, and it's society basically. Yeah.
And she has a suitor who promises to marry her, and then when she goes to find her father's killer, the Beast, she sends him back to look after her family.
And he falls in love with her older sister.
But we don't find that out. And she's gone for like a year at this point because she gets captured by the Beast, and he tells her to hunt, and he keeps training her to hunt and to hear the magic in the forests around so she can kind of see the magical elements in the regular forest. And that's how she's going to find and meet she's going to capture the Firebird. She's not going to meet it, just randomly more clearer.
But like when you're describing that, it sounds like it is paced in a sort of well-paced way, but it's not. It's like long, and then super fast, everything speeds up. The narrator skips over all of the details. Firebird. We don't need the Firebird anymore. Curse is broken. My sister now has twins with my ex-suitor. It's like, that happened in the last, like, maybe hour of the book. Of 13 hours of the book. Or maybe it wasn't that long.
No, because all of the stuff that you described there at the end, the twins and stuff like that, this is not what actually happens. This is what she thinks could be a possible future if she were to, like... This is potentially what can happen, and she thinks about it. But she will not know because she will stay with him. And it's... what you hated about this book is very much what I loved about this book, because I think I talked about this before, but I get restless. I have seriously itchy feet sometimes, and I need to just, like, I feel like I want to just crawl out of my skin, and I need to be anywhere but here, and I need to be far away from everyone around me, and I get this feeling, and it gets very overwhelming, and this book perfectly captures what it feels like to look around and know that, yeah, this is pretty good, but it's not at all what I want, and I want to be anywhere but here.
Yeah.
And it will pass. And I mean, I'm not as crazy as her, and I'm not going to run off into the woods and try to find a beast or anything like that. But
if you did, I would support you.
But it's very well described, this feeling of being like not content with your lot, even though your lot is not bad. And just the continuous need of being somewhere else. And she talks about the beast and how she chooses to be with him, but she also, when she talks about the twins and her sister and the families and with him, that this is okay for now, but this might not be okay for forever, and she might still want to leave. She might not be content with him forever. It's not
what kind of a story is that?
It felt very real to me. It didn't feel real. That's
no.
magical elements and all of that. But these feelings and this wanderlust, this restlessness, this satisfaction with staying in one place too long, like, it's very, very well described, and it's almost like a whole character in the book in a way.
But I was going to say, then that's the book. The book is like about her wanderlust, not actually about like the story. And my biggest thing from the get-go, even from the first 3 chapters, was that it was like being read a movie instead of listened to the movie. Do you know what I mean? And so much description, so little dialogue. Even some dialogue was basically described by the narrator, because she was going so fast over some things that it's very what?
It's very Grace.
How? The narrator is Grace, not Yeva. She hardly does.
No, but it's very Grace in the, I'm going to think about my lot in life, and this is the book of it, is me just thinking about shit. And about my emotion, and about what happened. And
but the narrator took over so many times. When it should have been Yeva's voice, it was the narrator's voice.
Fair enough. I didn't even pay attention to that. I was all in.
I was like, what? Why is this narrator not letting the girl friggin' talk? She even says at some point something like, the beast comes in and Yeva feels something. It's like, well, then let Yeva say she feels this.
But that's not the narrator. That's just the way the book is written, then. Because, I mean, the narrator will read it.
Oh, sorry. I meant, like, how the book was written. Yeah. Like, not narrator as in the storytell narrator.
Yeah, no, okay. So I mean the way it's written, so it's basically, it's told, not shown.
It's told, not shown. Exactly. And that was my thing, because I like to have, like, flowers. You know, I like flowery description, build a world in my head where I can escape to. And then I can place those characters here and there and envision their houses and their love and all this stuff. When I'm just being told what everything is happening, instead of let my imagination go, I disconnect from the book. And that's what happened here. And I said it was a long build up to a fast and rush ending, too much focus on other characters. Like the Phoenix got no time. The fox was just like, yep, that happened.
Well, I mean,
his curse was like, poof. Just poof and away. And now they hang out with her sisters and twins. That was Speedy.
But I mean, it was because he was hunting for the Firebird, when in reality, and the Firebird is what you most want. Like, it's basically, when she became what he most wanted and she came back to him, this would break the spell. I mean, this is very Beauty and the Beast in a way. Like, how love will break the spell, and she will leave and come back to him, and this is what does it, kind of thing. And I mean, her chasing the Firebird, it was very much like I know there's something better out there, and I'm going to keep hunting for it, even though it might not exist. It's very like, it still goes into this restlessness and this wanderlust. I thought it was very well captured, and you know, we don't have to love the same books all the time.
No, I like it that way. I very much like it that we disagree on some books, and that we have different perspective for things too. Because, like, overall, I don't think that this was a bad book. I think that it was a good story, but I didn't connect to it because of all of the skipping forward and things like that. I wrote here, too much was skipped over. Her sister says, I know you're leaving tomorrow, but please stay for my wedding in 1 week. That she's getting married to her ex, P.S. Fast forward, the story and dialogue, the wedding has now happened, and the Baron is also now dead, and he's the new Baron, and the Baroness is on the council, which is untraditional, and her sister is pregnant. Then she goes to find the beast, but first hunts down a non-huntable bird, which doesn't in the end matter, and poof, the curse is broken.
But it does matter.
But it
Fiber does matter. And honestly, I was happy that she skipped over it, because all the time she was in the village with her, like, when she keeps saying, oh, I'll go back tomorrow, I'm like, fucking hell, just move on. He needs you. The beast is like, he's losing himself. Like, you need to stop freaking dallying at your sister's wedding. Get back to the love.
And then she's like stayed longer. I'm like, what is she doing?
Imagine if this would have been 5 hours of her just being kept apart from him. Like, I would have been raging at this point.
But it was like 5 minutes.
Which is great. I was not kept away from the love for so long. I have
one last thing to say, and it may have been the funniest note I have ever written down about a book, and I wrote, that beast was a downer. That beast was a fucking downer. All his parts were, woe is me, the end. Growl, growl, the end. Beauty, fire, despair, the end.
He liked to speak in single word sentences. He did appreciate his single word sentences.
But how do you support that relationship?
Pain.
That's exactly what happened. I'm like, how did Lia love this book?
I was so bored. I liked it. I did. I liked it.
I can't. Okay, but agree to disagree.
Agree to disagree. I will recommend this book. Jerrica will not.
I will not.
All right. So listen to me, because I'm clearly right. All right.
No, read it and judge for yourself, and then let us know what you think.
Think for yourselves.
Think for yourself.
God, so demanding.
Stupid equality.
So we are now coming into the proper summer months.
Yes.
And we will actually not be reading a book for the pod over the summer. I have too many birthday books. I don't know.
True.
So instead, we're going to give you some little special episodes.
Yay.
In the next few weeks. We will be reading some books. We will be reading our gifted books.
Yes.
The ones that are not quite on the theme of what this pod is kind of about, and we will read them all and tell you all about them. And do we have the names of them already? We do, right?
We have Sluts and Whores by C.E. Hoffman.
Yes.
And we have
The Perilous Road to Her
by N.L. Bamford.
And then we have the last one, which is... It's coming back to me. Don't worry. There. The Oath and Blood Prize Part 1 by Peter Sean Terrell.
Perfect.
So we will be reading these 3 books, and we'll be talking about them in one episode. And then we will also, in another episode, tell you all about our favorite books.
Favorite
books! And then we will also discuss in another episode books made into TV shows and movies.
Amazing. I can't wait for that one, because there's so many adaptations that are both what? And also, okay.
And we will try to structure this slightly better than the Shadow and Bone rambling, where we were very excited and not very structured.
No.
So yeah, that's what you guys have to look forward to over the summer.
And
special. And we have lots of reading to do to get this to happen. So
gotta go.
Bye.
Bye.
We'd Rather Be Reading is an original podcast by Jerrica and Lia Sanfö. The music for The Penguins, written and performed by David Allred from the album The Transition, courtesy of Erased Tapes. Please check him out on Spotify and check us out on social media. We're on Facebook and Instagram at We'd Rather Be Reading and on Twitter at We'd Rather Read. You can also email us at we'dratherbereadingthepod@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.